Now it's time, I fear to tell, I've been holding it back so long, but something strange deep inside of me is happening. I feel unlike I've ever felt, and it's making me
You could have done this before I hit record.
Oh, what, adjusting the microphone?
Yeah.
Sorry, you're right. Welcome back, everybody, to part 5 of the epic 10-part anime series, Saw. The song you've heard was, of course, the song, what's it called? Oh,
Become Legend Youngboy.
Shit, no.
I started watching Evangelion.
Really?
This past weekend when I was in
good for
Detroit.
you. Did you like it?
Yeah, I think I've seen like 5 episodes or so.
Gotta keep going. Gotta push through it.
I hear it gets weird.
I was gonna say you've not really watched the show yet.
Yeah, I was actually gonna recommend maybe we could just like what if we just watched it in one day?
That would be a trip.
Yeah.
But
sorry, I was gonna say the song you would have heard introing the podcast. Thanatos, If I Can't Be Yours. That is the song that splits the end of Evangelion film in the two episode chunks. You're halfway through that film. You're halfway through this series. Congratulations. Way to go. Stick with it. And the movies only get better from here. Right? Right, folks? Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, we have a special guest today.
we certainly do.
Yeah. It's Devin.
Hi, I'm Devin.
Devin Shears.
Yeah.
That's right. Full name.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for being here.
So happy to be here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, happy to have you.
Yeah. I was thinking when you're talking about it, wouldn't it be amazing if, like, the second half of the Saw series sort of deteriorated formally the way the end of Evangelion did? It just became full on like experimental film.
Saw 10 is like whatever the real life equivalent of hand drawn animation is.
Or it's just they're all directed by Stan Brakhage.
Yeah. Well, we don't know if that could be the case, right?
Okay.
Like the trailers for Saw 10 look as though they present a relatively straightforward Saw picture, right?
Yeah.
But we have no idea if it may degrade or kind of Stan Brakhage style or who else?
It's honestly 50-50.
Yeah, who's that guy? Do you know it's like Peter Shashatsky or something?
Oh, no.
Shit.
Don't. I know it's my fault for bringing up experimental film, but please don't quiz me.
Sorry.
It'll look so dumb.
No, there's one guy.
I know Stan Brakhage.
Yeah, you're right. I know Stan Brakhage personally. Yeah.
I had a professor once who, Bruce Elder, who, God bless him.
Yes.
Great guy, great filmmaker.
I was about to bring him up.
I took a class with him once, and he talked about being friends with Stan Brakhage.
Yeah, they were buddies.
They were.
Well,
Yes.
well, let me drop this on you. I don't know if I ever told you this. So, listeners of the pod, they will know that I used to be a mailman, and that I delivered mail to such Canadian luminaries as Jordan Peterson, right? Mm-hmm. Being the one that I tell people at parties and so on. But the one that I only reserve for people like you is our Bruce Elder.
Yeah.
One of the first person whose name I actually recognized. I was like even before I was on the Peterson route. This was like the very first training day where I was just shadowing somebody, and I was like, "Oh, our Bruce Elder!" Like that's that Canadian experimental filmmaker.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I thought, oh, cool. Like I'm gonna recognize like famous Canadian names, and then a couple days later, it's like a copy of The Economist for Dr. Jordan B. Peterson.
Wow.
Like, oh, great. Both of them are dead now.
I don't think that's true for you.
Oh, no.
Definitely that's true for Jordan Peterson. Also, I don't think true for Bruce Elder.
I don't. No, you're right. They're still kicking, and God bless them. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Peter Serjkaski,
Okay.
who made the great experimental film Outer Space. You ever see Outer Space?
I haven't. No.
I don't think anyone listening has seen Outer Space from 1999. But if you have, that's what Saw 10 is going to be. Yeah. That, and if one of you like gels with that reference and like has seen that, you can see it on YouTube. That's going to be huge for that one listener. Yeah. And that's what we're all about. It's like a bespoke podcast experience for one individual.
Yeah, totally.
His name was Jordan Segarechia.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. A lot of the time, that one person's name is Jordan Segarechia. It's a podcast made for one person. Yeah. But God bless him. He enjoys it, and he brings listeners in as well. Yeah, he does. Yeah.
Eventually, we'll get around and we'll do all our listeners, all 45 of them.
Oh yeah, yeah. In the next 40,
it's very feasible.
It's totally feasible. Yeah, in the next 45 episodes,
next month and a half.
Yeah, exactly. Each episode will be dedicated to one loyal listener. Yeah. Who's next after Jordan? I don't know.
My friend Chantel was really pleased we shouted her out.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe we'll do one for her.
Okay, well, here's the second shout out to Chantel. And I
spoiled.
promise I won't be angry on the show anymore. Yeah. I'm sorry.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that's not true.
Once we get into Saw 5.
Yeah, I mean, we are going to talk about Saw 5 at some point. But first, Alex, tell us about Detroit and about the concert you went to.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, before the concert.
Yeah, before the concert, because we should we have a theme song, of course, for and I'll tell you.
Is that what it is?
I'll tell you what it is.
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
Man, so I went with my friend Pat. Shout outs to Pat.
Shout out.
And we didn't realize this when we booked the Airbnb, but the place we were staying in was actually a retirement resort. So we got there. It was this big compound in Dearborn, Michigan. No mention of this whatsoever on the Airbnb. But
this is what happened to the Barbarian people. This is exactly what happened to them. It's your fault for using Airbnb.
I thought of Barbarian a lot while I was there, but there was like a little red flashing light and a string next to my bed that was like pull for assistance. And I was so worried I would like pull it in like a hazy early morning stupor thinking it was the lamp or something, and some like nurse comes rushing in but whatever, like it was a nice place, but it was just kind of surreal to be in a retirement home. And the reason we went there was because my friend Pat got tickets to see Death Grips in Detroit at the Fillmore.
We did talk about that.
Aforementioned
I don't know why I
concert.
sounded surprised when we mentioned that last episode.
But we made like jokes about like, maybe we could catch a shuttle from the home. Ethel's like, "Are you boys going to the Death Grips show? It goes.
Yeah. Oh, well, here's our Death Grips. We both saw Death Grips.
Yeah.
In between last week's episode and this week's episode,
yes.
And here's the theme song. It goes, podcasting. Yeah. Okay. Good. Yeah. That's it's a little too blank check, but that's all right.
Imagine MC Ride with a podcast.
I know, right?
I think you go a little something.
Yeah. Fuck, shit.
Come, fuck upon me.
Yeah.
Listen, MC Ride, if you're listening.
Oh,
We'd
yeah.
love to have you on
we
the
would
pod.
love to have you on the pod. And you know what?
Ride.
We would take our shirts off, too.
Yeah.
Just to make you more at home. He's always with his shirt off. So
Zach Hill as well.
Yeah.
We will write the franchisees on our penises in Sharpie. Like
yeah. This is a promise that if any members of Death Grips come on the show,
not Flatlander.
Any of the two important members come on the show, we will change the franchisee's image to the No Love Deep Web, cover, but with our penises.
Yes. We might
maybe
have to put them together.
We'll put them together
to get the full name of the pod.
We'll put them together to get the franchisees on tip to tip.
We'll die
crossways. You know how it's like angled, right?
Yeah.
It would actually, it would be perfect right there. And
great.
Yeah, and we'll write the name on it.
Yeah.
Okay, so that seems pretty tempting. Like
if MC Ride or Zach Hill come on the show,
yeah.
I would 100% do that.
Same.
Yeah.
So what did you think about the show?
It was great.
Yeah.
I've seen them a couple times before, but it's weird. So the first time I saw them was at this place called Wrong Bar in Toronto, which was a small club in Parkdale, like really small. And it was around the No Love Deep Web era. And Flatlander wasn't even there again. And it was just MC Ride and Zach Hill. And they got on without saying anything, played for 45 minutes, like nonstop. It was a crazy show, and then they just walked off without saying anything. I was like, that's very Death Grips. And it's fun to see them, like, 10 years later doing the exact same thing on essentially a bigger scale.
Yeah.
And the set list was awesome. It was like 25 songs, all oddly enough like greatest hits. Like they have such a strong discography.
It felt like greatest hits tour. It was really cool.
Yeah, there was only like one song I wasn't familiar with, which is always fun when that happens, you know, because you get to, you're like, oh yeah, I like this one too.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was just awesome, and it was great seeing them. And they had the guitarist, I guess, who recorded some parts for Powers That Be touring with them as well, and that was like really heavy and fun.
Yeah, it was cool.
And then after the show, there was this van parked outside the Fillmore, and this girl was on top of the van, and she had a microphone, and she was like, "You all saw Death Grips? Like, well, get a load of us." And on the van, they had written the first Scientologist hardcore band or something. And they were playing like cyber thrash, like similar to Death Grips, and she was on stage, she was on the van kind of shouting, screaming, singing, and there was a guy in the van playing drums. And I was like,
did you sign up?
No. But they did throw out like CDs, and we grabbed one, and the song titles were very funny. Like there was one about spaceships or something. It was an interesting promotional tactic. Didn't work for me, but that's because I'm galaxy brained when it comes to marketing.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
But all Al business.
Yeah.
But it was a really fun time. And we went to the Detroit Lions game before that as well, which was a very unique experience also.
That would be
football.
Baseball. Oh, shit.
American football.
Fuck.
It
was one of the two.
Yeah.
God damn it.
They love it there. It's fucking crazy. It was one of the weirdest experiences of my life.
Yeah, what did they do? Like, is there any weird fan practice? And
just being ultra aggressive and loud.
Oh yeah, makes sense. Yeah.
And like they were playing the Seahawks, and there were like Seahawks fans, the few kind of walking up the stairs, and they'd shout at them and be like, "Fuck you!"
yeah.
But you know, I've recently gone into fantasy football at work.
Yeah, that's right.
And I had a wide receiver on the Seahawks, and he actually scored the game-winning touchdown. Wow. So I had to like stifle my excitement. I was like, yes. But like, because I didn't want to get ripped apart by Savage Lions fans.
Yeah, of course. Well, that sounds like a pretty good trip.
Yeah. But Detroit, like, you know, they say it's up and coming. It's still very much not there. There's a lot of abandoned.
You have to go and gentrify it harder.
I do.
Yeah.
I have to take up some of these abandoned lots and these abandoned buildings and the downtown core. You know, it's really weird. And
it's up to you, Alex.
And turn them into farm, like greenhouses or something.
You have to open a burger restaurant where the fries come in a little sort of like fryer basket.
You're right. Yeah, I do.
Yeah. It costs $18.
That's actually a pretty good business model. You should really think about that. Ooh, what about the franchisees? Fries and cheese.
French
cheeseburgers.
Yeah.
This is huge. Wahlburgers, watch out.
Yeah.
Donnie.
Donnie.
Head crushed between two giant ice blocks. Yeah.
Rest in peace.
Yeah. Dude, it's crazy that that's what happened to him in real life.
Yeah. Tragedy.
Yeah. Anyway. I had a good time at Death Grips as well.
Yeah.
I think it's one of the best concerts I've been to in my life.
Yeah.
Don't go out to a lot of concerts necessarily, but it was really good. Like you said, like it was, I think initially it was at the Danforth Music Hall, and I got in there right before it sold out. They only had the like balcony tickets, so I got one of those. But then they moved it to History, which is Drake's club. And Drake, as always, up in the rafters, Phantom of the Opera style, observing everybody, cackling, you know, with the half face mask and everything, and occasionally coming in and playing his organ as well.
Yes.
Yeah, he's a strange man. Anyway, he was there, it's a huge club. It was like fully sold out.
I hear it's nice.
It's really nice. I've been there a couple times. It's really nice.
I've still never been.
I saw a Modest Mess there, actually.
Oh, yeah. I remember
Which was also a different type of show. Lots of dads. There were definitely some dads at Death. I mean, Death Grips is old. I mean, you know. But, really good crowd. Like, people were obviously really excited to mosh and throw elbows in the pit. But I didn't want to do that, so I was hanging out back. But yeah, like you said, like they came out, didn't say anything. The giant like LCD screen behind them was just like blood red, and they just played for like an hour and a half.
Yeah.
And then MC Ride took maybe 2 sips of water and maybe collected like 60 to 90 seconds worth of like just standing offside and like wiping his face with a towel. Yeah. And it just straight through. And the backdrop never changed. So it was they were always completely silhouetted and bathed in the red light.
Yeah.
And it was so loud. My friend lost his, one of his earplugs, like immediately. And yeah, his ears were bleeding.
Friend of the pod, Marty, there?
I did not see Marty there. No. Oh, I should say shout out to
Oh no.
Adam. sorry, Adam. I don't know if you listen, but I was just going by myself, and I just ended up seeing him there. So yeah, it was nice to hang out with Adam, who goes to lots of shows, and who will be going to Dylan and Springsteen coming up as well. Yeah.
And Zach Hill just plays like drum fills the whole time, like the whole set. It's pretty incredible.
It was incredible.
Yeah.
It was really cool. I know it's I don't know, like when you go see artists that have like a big electronic element, like sometimes the live show can be a little underwhelming. But if you have somebody wailing on the drums and somebody screaming into a microphone for an hour and a half straight, it ends up being pretty cool. Yeah.
It's a winning formula.
Yeah.
God.
Anyway,
I had the opportunity.
come on the pod.
I had the opportunity to see Death Grips in 2011, which was
right when the Money Store would have come out, right?
I think it was before that. I feel like
that's ex-military.
I was literally like they were like brand new.
Wow.
I was in London and I saw that they were playing. I didn't go. And I regret that just because I feel like it would be like a flex to be like, yeah, I saw Death Grips in 2011. I saw it. Yeah. And it had just come out. Yeah, like I think like it was still very mysterious. And but
I have a similar thing, a similar flex, but not cool. It's the opposite. It's,
mine's not cool because I didn't go.
No, you're right, but it's cool that you could have gone.
Yes, sure.
At sometime at Queens, I was hanging out with the improv team. Automatically, not cool. Shout out Sam, friend of the pod, Sam, who was maybe there. Yeah, already not cool. We were hanging out at a bar, and the youngest member, the guy who just joined, he burst into the bar and was like, "Everybody, Skrillex is here!" And then he ran out, and we were all like, "Who the fuck is that?" Like, I don't know what that is. Like, some young person stuff. And then we didn't go see him. So see what I mean? It's like, it's good that I didn't go see him because he's a loser. Yeah. I don't know. But then like, however many months later it was, then you couldn't escape that song, the Scary Monsters, Super Creep song, whatever it's called.
LMFAO used to like would just like play I used to go to Memorial University of Newfoundland. And before like Shots became a big hit, LMFAO just used to play at the campus pub. Sometimes
picking up college girls.
I guess so. I don't know. Like, presumably they were on some kind of tour, but But then a couple of years later, it was like wow. But I also never went. There's a lot of great stories about not going to things.
Well, speaking of not going,
what people want on podcasts. Right? Stories about non-experiences.
It's all about fun anecdotes about things you didn't do and don't even really regret. Yeah. Like I remember walking outside of I think it was Stages, this notorious Kingston club, which I'm sure is still there.
Probably.
And it was like
I only went once.
I went a couple times. I never liked it though. Yeah. I don't like having fun. There was the largest lineup I'd ever seen. I was like, "What's going on? It's some special night?" Or it's like, "Oh, they don't check IDs night or something," which they didn't anyway. No, it was that Snooki from the Jersey Shore was there.
Cool.
Yeah, and people were like, this is the peak of Jersey Shore.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was like like, so what do? You just go into the club
And she's
like
there
she's
somewhere?
there, and it's just everybody going up to her, like accosting her all night, being like, Snooki, take a picture with me. I don't know.
Or just like paying tribute, like the Pope or something.
Yeah,
just going up and being like,
getting fed the communion wafer.
She probably got paid like $10,000 to be there.
yeah.
That rocks.
I
Good
mean,
for her.
yeah, good for her. I hope
Yeah.
they just kept her on the stage, like on one of the titular stages,
Yeah.
and then didn't let people come up and bother her. Just like, on show.
That
like,
would have been
yeah.
funny.
Yeah.
And there was like a really confrontational atmosphere between like her security and the crowd and stuff, and like
Yeah.
people with like riot shields or something protecting Snooki.
Yeah.
People just rotating her like Mecca.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's just there on like a giant rotating cube.
Yeah.
What's inside? We'll never know.
Yeah.
Anyway, okay, good. What else is new? You got anything new? What anything interesting happened to you? I hate to put you on the spot like this. But...
Sorry. Well, we made a movie together.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't know if that's come up on the pod or not.
Revealing
Revealing myself to not listening.
That's
But I don't listen to many podcasts.
That's completely fine.
It's not you guys.
You don't have to. No, you don't have to explain. That's okay. I mentioned on the show that I acted in my friend's short film, and that friend is indeed Devin.
That's me.
Devin is
So-
the director.
Oh,
Yeah.
putting two and two together. This is like the end of a Saw movie.
Yeah. Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah, it's
Dun, 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 dun.
Wait a
kind of
minute.
flashing back to saying that to you.
I'm working on a friend's short.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I did that.
That's funny. Sorry.
Other than
Yeah.
that, I've been mostly. Well, I was a little sick,
Yep.
and I also have had a toothache the last couple of days.
Yeah,
So that's an interesting thing. But it did really, that did really sort of inform my viewing of Saw 5. you know.
Yes.
I was really able to connect with Jigsaw's victims because I myself was also going through a certain kind of torture.
Yes.
Yeah.
Tooth pain is and if some of our listeners have never experienced that, tooth pain is very serious.
Marathon Man.
Yeah, exactly. Is it safe?
Is
Obviously, it was not safe. And also, what's the the Marathon Man? The story everyone has to say when Marathon Man comes up about Dennis Miller, Dustin Hoffman, doing his method acting, like staying up all night, running around, like making himself sick. Right? Hoffman. And then Laurence Olivier being like, "Try acting, my boy."
Famous. That's the example?
That's the example,
I thought it was
yeah.
Anthony Hopkins who did it once.
No.
Or something.
And that's, of course, how Laurence Olivier sounded. He sounded, "Try acting, my boy."
Hello. Have you considered acting?
But if you think about it, like, who really is the better actor, Dustin Hoffman or Sir Laurence Olivier? Do you have any hot takes about that? Who's the better person? I think probably Laurence Olivier.
Isn't I feel like
Dustin Hoffman is a bit of a sex pest.
It's supposed to be a sex pest.
Yeah,
Right?
I've heard.
I don't know. I've never really had strong feelings about Dustin Hoffman. I guess really, or Laurence Olivier.
No,
So,
I know. We kind of missed that. We're too young to have been
very young.
invested. We're very young and cool and hip, and we're too young, cool, and hip to be invested in Sir Laurence Olivier's
Timothy
acting
Chalamet
style.
is my Dustin Hoffman.
Yes, and actually Timothy Chalamet is also my Sir Laurence Olivier. And I would say he kind of really represents both the best of Dustin Hoffman's method performances and Sir Laurence Olivier's classically trained Shakespearean acting.
Yeah.
As seen in the trailer for Wonka. I'm making chocolate, of course.
Yeah. Wait, flip it, reverse it. So
I
bad.
can't wait.
But I never really. I feel like I've never there was never what's a great Dustin Hoffman film? Midnight Cowboy.
Meet the Fockers.
Yeah.
Okay, right. Yeah, he's opposite. He's the other dad.
I would throw out Mr. Megorium's Wonder Emporium.
I like The Graduate.
He's really good in
Yeah.
The Graduate.
Graduate's one of those movies I would have seen when I was like 14 and like getting into movies. Like, oh, it's a movie I have to watch, and I haven't seen since. And I have very little memory of.
He's really good in All the President's Men, and Midnight Cowboy is, I think, probably it would be maybe his definitive performance for
I've
me.
been wanting to watch Midnight Cowboy again because
same.
I watched it. It was another one I watched as a teenager. and really did not understand.
Same. I didn't get it.
I was like, all right, because I was under the understanding it was supposed to be a gay movie, and the whole time I'm like,
When do they fuck?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And now I'm older, I understand nuance and subtext a little more maybe. I would get more out of it. Because at the
Yeah.
time I was just like, this is weird. What's going on with these two guys? It feels weird. This makes me feel weird.
Yeah. But he gets his dick sucked by Bob Balaban.
Does he?
Yeah.
Oh, that's sick.
Or
Haven't
does
we all?
he suck Bob Balaban's dick? I know, it's a universal experience. So, yeah, it's one of those weird things.
Wow.
It's like,
Okay.
you know, even a teenager in Saskatoon in the 2000s can see Midnight Cowboy and see Bob Balaban getting his dick sucked or sucking dick and be like, oh, yeah, like, I get it. Yeah. I'm walking here. Yeah. I get it. Whatever.
I'm coming here on Bob Balaban's face.
Bob Balaban. I love Bob
Fucking-
Balaban.
Oh, Ishtar, of course. He's actually very good in Ishtar. Straw Dogs, Marathon Man.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah,
Dogs.
Straw Dogs.
Straight Time. Okay, this is if you are looking for a Sex Pest Dustin Hoffman movie. Sorry,
And I am.
and I am. Yeah,
I've been saying that. I've been saying that.
I think one of his best performances and one of his best movies is the movie Straight Time from 1978.
Dustin Hoffman.
What are you doing?
You step back, please.
Straight Time. It's the time it takes for a man to lose or win.
He's like a guy who gets out of prison, and he's on his doing his straight time, right? But the pull of being gay, the pull of going back to jail or recidivism or whatever.
Yeah, being a bad criminal.
Yeah,
person.
being an evil criminal who needs to be
Yes.
locked away.
Yeah.
No, obviously it's not. It's about how society's a prison, man.
Oh,
and there's actually
interesting.
one
That's
really
a really interesting idea.
I know it's
Yeah,
a novel concept, right?
Yeah.
There's one really interesting shot where it's okay. This is gonna sound corny now that because we're joking about it,
Okay.
but in the context of the movie, I guarantee it's more subtle than I'm making it sound.
Mm-hmm.
His other friend, who was also in jail, like I think they used to rob banks together, or whatever it was, is Harry Dean Stanton. I'm really selling this, right?
Yeah.
Oh God, they're so good together. And there's a scene where he's visiting Harry Dean Stanton in his like suburban house with his wife, who's like made a nice dinner and everything. And they're in the backyard and they're having beers and smoking and having a good time. And he's playing the guitar. And then his wife leaves to get something, like to get a drink or something. And he says to Dustin Hoffman, like basically like, you got to get me out of here. You know what I mean? And then and then she comes back and they're all hanging out and playing whatever. And the camera pulls back and goes wide, and you see the backyard, but it's framed by the wooden gate, and it looks like a prison yard. And it's like, you know, it sounds like a lot, but it's really good in the movie.
I think sometimes it's okay to just, if you have an idea, you want to communicate it.
Yeah.
Use the language and techniques of filmmaking to do that.
See, and you heard it here from an actual filmmaker who knows what they're talking about.
From a mid-career filmmaker nobody's heard of.
Nobody's heard of yet until
This pod catches.
Yeah, until the pod catches on, and then until the movie that he directed, starring me, Benjamin Turnbull presents the Benjamin Turnbull 3D concert experience, is going to win the Best Picture Oscar.
Yeah.
Yeah. The first Canadian film to do so.
Yeah.
And short.
Maybe. Short or maybe longer. We don't know.
It might be longer.
We don't know.
Okay, wow.
We don't know.
Must have been a lot of great content
Might
you
be
provided.
a short feature. There was. Ben did a great job.
Thank you.
I'm happy to say that.
All right. Great. Well,
Put it on record.
it's on record. It's on the podcast. So now if you see the movie later and you think I didn't do a good job,
You're
you'll
wrong.
know you're wrong. Yeah. You're wrong. Your opinion is wrong.
Yeah, because it's not on record.
And it's as simple as that. You're wrong. You're just wrong. And that's the end of Hoffman talk.
Shut up! Shut the fuck up! You have no right to take me. Shut up! Will you shut up? Shut up! Shut up!
Hoffman talk.
Shut up!
Oh, he's good
it's-
in Hook. He's good.
it's-
I think he's genuinely very
sure.
good in
Yeah,
Hook.
he's good in Hook.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's the best part of that movie.
Yeah.
It's only the beginning of Hoffman talk.
Hoffman talk.
Shut up!
Oh, no, we're talking about a different.
Oh
Hoffman.
fuck!
We're
Right?
talking about
Yes, of course.
we're talking about a different
Wow.
sex pest.
And this is how you can tell you're a pro podcaster to
thank
bring
you.
to bring
Yeah.
those two things together. Yeah.
That was huge.
yeah, yeah.
You're
Well
making
done.
me
That was-
blush.
yeah,
Yeah.
that
can't
was
tell.
that was a major segue.
Okay.
Stop.
Yeah.
The year, the year is 2008.
It's Halloween.
It's Halloween.
It's Halloween.
Which we
There's-
mistakenly thought the new Saw movie was coming out around Halloween. It's coming out like
Are we
next
that
week.
Is it
bad at the
really?
show?
Yeah, it
Is
comes out
really?
September 29th.
We're so fucking stupid. But in order to do that,
Yeah,
September
no.
29th, what the fuck?
We would have had to start this in like February.
Yeah, and then we couldn't have done all the other great things we did. Like,
yeah, no, listen, we're still going to watch it for Halloween.
Yeah.
We just thought it was coming out around Halloween because
They all did.
they all did.
That was
Wait,
the thing.
we're not going to be able to see it in the theater.
We might. It might be a big hit.
Are we? Yeah, I mean, we could.
Or
Are
we could
are
watch
we
it
screwed?
in theaters and then just remember.
We might have to.
Rent
Yeah.
out the Royal.
Yeah,
Take-
maybe.
That'd be fun.
Yeah, for all the franchises. Yeah,
we
we'd
wouldn't be
lose
able to
so
fill
much
all
money.
those
Yeah. Not yet. Soon, when we have more listeners, we'll have a live podcast recording in the Royal Cinema.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the video
And,
and
Yeah, the whole thing.
and
Yeah.
we'll have luxurious guests like
Yeah.
Stavros.
Yeah, of course. He'll be in town. He'll be in town for Just for Laughs.
yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. 2008, which is, I forgot like how far back they go.
Yeah.
Like
Yes.
this movie, and it's weird because these movies are kind of out of time, right? And
Mm-hmm.
part of it is like just the production in the like anonymous Toronto warehouses and how everything always kind of looks the same. And like the saw traps are not like like modern tech focused necessarily, right? And so this feels like it could have come out. Like, I don't think this aesthetically is going to be that much different than like Saw X.
This looks like it could have come out before Saw 1. You know, like the budgets have gotten bigger, but they've still retained a very cheap look.
Have they
yeah.
though? I mean,
I
not
mean-
not to get in front of it all, but like,
Yeah.
God, this movie looked like cheap, like really cheap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It looks, I think
It had a budget of 10 million.
4 and 5 look kind of cheap. Like 4 looks less cheap than this one, I think.
Maybe,
right?
but
Yeah.
maybe it did look really cheap. I don't even really remember it.
Like, oh wait, so yeah,
Oh no, I was just gonna say this came out the year that we graduated high school.
yes, that
Yeah.
me as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. We're all the same age here.
Yeah.
26.
Yeah.
Okay, I will just a couple other things. This is the second film written by Patrick Melton and Marcus Dunstan, two Hollywood screenwriters who are our personal favorites.
Geniuses.
Yeah.
I didn't look it up because I saw that they wrote both of these. Any other major credits from these two?
Yeah, they wrote Saw 4.
Yes, I saw that.
They also wrote The Collection or The Collector. You know those that's like a James Wan, right?
Oh yeah.
And I believe also Feast, the Feast movies. I saw the first Feast.
I don't know those.
They're very immature horror comedy movies that are really disgusting. Yeah.
Have food?
No, but like monsters that eat people.
okay.
Feast 2, Sloppy Seconds, which I think is actually
That's a great
I think it's a
title.
pretty good
It's
title.
a really good title
yeah.
for a movie. Yeah.
Like the monsters have big like penises and they like fuck people to death, which is kind of gross, but also it's again a novel concept.
It's like Society.
it is like exactly the world is a vampire.
No, I meant the movie Society from the 80s with the shunting orgy.
Yeah, have you seen that?
I have not. I've heard good things.
That's a
Well,
fun movie.
it is a fun movie.
Yeah.
It's a especially the last 15 minutes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The rest of it, yeah. This is the first and only Saw directed by David Hackle, who was the production designer for 2, 3, and 4, and was maybe supposed to direct like 4 and 5, but only ended up directing this one. So
He made his mark.
yeah, he sure did. According to Digital Spy, I pulled this note from Wikipedia because it's the kind of Wikipedia note on like somebody minor's like page
Yeah.
that you could tell like them or one of their friends at it.
Yeah.
Despite negative reviews of the film, his direction in Saw 5 has been referred to by Digital Spy as, quote, slick. slick direction.
Slick has always. I feel like I've seen that adjective pop up in like a DVD box like cover review.
Yeah,
and it is like, what on earth does that mean?
It is not. It doesn't seem like a positive thing necessarily.
No.
It's also not how I would describe this movie.
No.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, this was very bad.
Yeah, I also was not super impressed by this movie. Yeah. One thing I did like is the very opening trap. It's the pit and the pendulum.
Yeah. It was very classical.
It's straight out of Edgar Allan Poe. Yeah. I know. I haven't read that story, but I think he gets out. You know what I mean? Like, he
gets saved at the very end by like the judges.
Yeah, he gets saved. He doesn't. Door, They burst through the door and they're like, "We're liberating the Spanish Inquisition."
Something like that.
Yeah. But in this one, it actually cuts him in half.
It sure does. And you see it kind of like swipe away some of his guts.
It's actually pretty good. I like this trap. I like the trap. Of course, he has to crush his hands.
He'd hurt people. He'd killed people.
The hands he had done crimes with.
And he does. He crushes his hands in these vices, and he still gets pendulumed up.
So something's off.
Something's off. The real Jigsaw
would never do that.
No, he doesn't kill people. In fact, there's a line he says later. Well, I just tell you right now.
Killing is tasteless or something.
Killing is distasteful. Yeah, it turns out Hoffman. This was Hoffman's first crime. Yeah, it's the guy that killed his sister.
So forgive me because I have seen all of the Saw films up until 6. I haven't seen any of them after that, but it's been a while. When was it in the last film that it was revealed that Hoffman was an accomplice?
Yes. We know Hoffman's an accomplice.
Yeah. Okay.
And then that's why like Strahm is kind of one of the many plots in these movies. Strahm is a detective and he's onto Hoffman, so he's like trying to prove that he's Jigsaw. And then, as you were mentioning, that was one of Hoffman's first traps where he was kind of using a Jigsaw setup to enact revenge, personal revenge.
Yes,
he was framing Jigsaw in a way to get away with.
Yeah, he cuts the puzzle piece out of the body, the whole thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, which is something they kind of forgot about, because like so many people die in these movies. A lot of them get exploded in this movie, and it's like no one's cutting a Jigsaw skin piece.
Mostly explosions in this one.
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird that they explode so many people, like to the point where there's one time
with
where
nail bombs.
Yeah, they go into the next room and they're like, "Oh, more explosions here."
Yeah, like we have to do this or else this other rudimentary nail bomb in like mason jars that like people buy from Bulk Barn to like pickle peaches.
It's no Boston Bomber special. They knew what they were doing.
Yeah.
Pressure cookers, not just a mason jar.
No, Instant Pots.
Yeah. Zokar Sarniev, come on the pod if you're out there.
They do that thing where they fuck with the timeline and they're showing you the stuff with Hoffman when he's like framing Jigsaw and stuff, and they're making it seem like it's happening at the same time as the present day trap or whatever.
Yes.
But it's not again.
No.
And then they reveal it's not again, and you're just like, but why?
But that's not supposed to be like we know it's a flashback, right? Like,
I don't think so. I think it's.
I think because you're talking about the pendulum thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. The very first time we see it.
Sure.
The first time we see it, we don't know when it is.
Right.
Yeah. But it's not like a big reveal necessarily.
No. Oh, I see what you mean.
But there's that moment where Hoffman like gets in the elevator and a bunch of people walk out and Jigsaw's there.
Yeah.
And it's like, wait, when are we?
Yeah.
It's like the ending of Twin Peaks: The Return, which we always bring up. Like, when is this?
Yeah. What year is this? Yeah. No, like I was saying in the last one, I think it's funny that the whole twist or gimmick of like the temporal gimmick of all of these Saw movies that doesn't make you go back and change how you view everything. It doesn't recontextualize anything for you. It's mostly just, well, I bet you weren't expecting that.
It just adds something.
Yeah.
Like actually this also was happening.
Yeah.
But I also
sometimes it's funny.
Sometimes it is. I think that this one they really they just wrote themselves into such a corner, I think, by the time they get to this one, because it's just like they have just nothing to do with these characters. Like Jigsaw's dead. We know he's dead. Amanda is dead, which I don't know. I again, if this is, I don't want to tread on any territory.
No.
It's crazy that they killed Amanda
I know.
as early as they did. Like, why would you kill Jigsaw in the same and Amanda in the same movie? It doesn't make sense to me.
Because they had Hoffman in the pocket.
Hoffman
does not have the juice, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I have to agree with you
yeah.
because the other funny thing about Hoffman is that in Saw 3, he's there, he very briefly, and then Saw 4, like we were saying, I thought it was going to be more developed. It was going to be more about Hoffman.
Yeah.
But he's tied
to a chair the whole time.
Yeah, he's just tied to the chair the whole time. And at the very end, you realize, oh, he is their new predecessor. But there's never any moment where we really get to spend any time with him, right?
Yeah.
I think it's because they were cranking these out so frequently.
Yes.
They didn't have time to plan something well thought out. They were doing them every Halloween.
Yeah, and I do think that after Lee Wannell and James Wan left, and didn't stop writing the movies.
And Bousey Boy got him.
And Bousey Boy. There's definitely something with that as well. This Melton and Dunstan team. It's just something about their names too,
Yeah, it's no Merchant Ivory.
No, far from it.
Melton and Dunstan.
Excuse me. I'm choking on the Tums dust.
Yeah.
Merchant Ivory, but it's Melton and Dunstan. Howard's End by Melton and Dunstan. He's ripped apart by a table saw.
You should do a period Saw.
I agree.
Period Saw.
That would be
movie.
cool.
That would be really good.
But make it kind of hokey too, and send John Kramer back in time somehow.
Yeah.
Because those people really needed to be taught some morals. You know what I mean?
They don't know anything about right and wrong.
No, they don't. No, they don't. They don't. Yeah, and they should be held accountable by the social laws and mores of our time.
And specifically John Kramer's perspective.
There was a moment where John Kramer says, what is he? What I should have written it down, but he's like, if you can predict the human mind, nothing is up for chance. And it's this guy's literally just claiming that he is God because he can. He's predicted people. He hasn't even he knows nothing about these cops or these people he's putting in these torture, but he knows everything they're gonna do all before he passed away. Yeah, he's God.
And he recorded a lot of voiceover clips too. Yeah. It's in Videodrome, the Professor Brian Oblivion, who turns out he's just
dead.
a collection of videotapes. Yeah. I love that movie.
Farewell to the Old Flesh, or what is it?
Yeah, something like that.
Farewell to this old flesh.
When you're sitting down at the end of a long day. Farewell to this old flesh.
At your retirement compound in Dearborn, Michigan.
Yeah. Which way to the death grip show? I think, and I'm sure you'll both agree, that it's funny that Hoffman and Strahm kind of look alike.
They do look alike.
They're the same type of guy.
They both look like they're made of meat. They have a very meat-like quality to them.
They look like the guy who plays Hoffman is Costas Mandylor, who was a athlete, I think, of some kind, and was this heartthrob, one of People magazine's
in 1991.
Yeah,
magazine's sexiest people.
Exactly. Yeah. Alex has that copy on the coffee table.
I use it frequently.
Yeah. And then, but he's not acted in a lot of other stuff. This is mostly
really interesting,
right?
A lot of TV.
A lot of TV.
He seems so sort of because he embodies that role so well.
He is Hoffman.
You can tell that
Mark Hoffman. just to remember, his name is Mark. Yeah, Australian. Oh, he's in Picket Fences. What else?
Is he Australian?
Yeah. And his brother is in all the big fat Greek wedding movies.
That's great. He never got him a cameo.
No.
Oh, he's in Virtuosity. Has anyone seen the Denzel Russell Crowe movie Virtuosity?
No.
It's a great movie.
I don't think I've ever heard of it.
Oh, it's amazing. It's great. It's one of the few movies directed by the guy who did Lawnmower Man, and so it's a lot of late '90s, early CG virtual worlds. It's a hilarious movie. Oh, he's in some other stuff. I don't know. Dino Croc.
He's been around, but This was his chance to shine.
Yeah, the other guy, the guy who plays Strahm, is the.
I feel like he's Canadian. But is he?
Oh, I don't know if he is, but a lot of the cast was.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Like everyone in the Traps, essentially.
His name is Scott Patterson. He's the guy from, what's it called? Gilmore Girls.
Yeah, of course. Yes, of course.
Yeah. He's American,
he's the
but
heartthrob in Gilmore Girls.
Yeah, he's the heartthrob in Gilmore Girls, and then Strahm in Saw. That's pretty much it.
Wow.
Yeah.
He gets put in a trap towards the beginning of this movie where he's
also inescapable.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yeah. He is in essentially the music video for No Surprises by Radiohead. And the thing fills up with water with Tom York.
Yeah.
And he escapes it by giving himself a tracheotomy with a pen.
That's crazy.
Hardcore.
Yeah. Do you think you would have been able to do that? I mean, we're going to get to the traps at the end, of course. But
I don't entirely get how that works.
You just got to fucking jam it in, man. Like,
but
pop.
It's one of those things that I don't know. Yeah, like I feel like I've seen tracheotomies a lot in movies and things.
Yeah,
but
not with the head submerged under, because he would have to go. He would have to go. He would have to breathe only.
He'd have to breathe through his neck,
which, like, I guess, like,
but not through your nose at the same time. Right?
I don't know how.
Because he can't plug his nose, right?
Yeah.
Cinema sins.
It's so easy to slip into cinema sins with these movies.
I know.
I'm so dumb that I thought what would happen was he pokes it in his neck and then the water would drain out. Like he would just open his mouth and the water would.
Because it's been a while since I've seen the movie and I weirdly remembered it that way.
Yeah.
They should have just done that.
That would have been really gulp, gulp, gulp.
Like, whether
you could have just drank all the water. If you were thirsty enough,
it's
you
not
could
that much water.
You could just keep drinking.
You can see,
Is that how it works?
You can see the two water coolers they have. It didn't look full. It was like only just enough water to fill the thing. You probably could just drink that water.
Yeah. And I'm just thinking of Tom York with his little water goggles. They didn't even give him water goggles.
No, that was a cruel music video.
I'm sure the water was heavily chlorinated as well in the saw trap. Yeah.
Oh, true. Yeah, the saw trap.
My eyes.
Maybe it was salt water, so he couldn't drink it.
Oh, awful. Yeah, without getting sick.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They drinks it and pukes or something. All things that would have been more interesting.
True.
Yeah.
Than the trap we
Than
got.
breathing out of his neck.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Hoffman's like, oh, I'm the hero. I saved this girl. Nobody survived. And then it's like, oh, we got Strahm, and the look on his face, right? It's like it's the end of the Curb Your Enthusiasm. We still get some scenes with Jigsaw's hot ex-wife being interviewed.
Jill.
Mm.
They're still trying to get information out of Jill.
Impressive that she was able to cry.
Yeah.
Because otherwise she doesn't seem to, like, she doesn't have a sort of full range of emotions. No. Add her tool belt as an actor.
Yeah.
But she cried. So that was good.
Yeah,
she
did.
is the producer's wife. One of the producers, something Berg or something.
Interesting.
I don't know if they're still together, but she was his wife.
Interesting.
Yeah, that is interesting.
Yeah.
But she also earned the role because she's really good.
Yeah.
She's
like, of course.
She's really good. She can cry. She can cry on command.
Yeah.
It leads to some flashbacks between her and Jigsaw. I don't know. Oh no! Sorry, it's just the old video they play for.
Yeah,
like his video where he says one of my favorite lines. I'm not going to try and explain my actions of late.
Yeah, and he leaves like his video will in his like saw robe, with the red hood and stuff. It's really funny.
Yeah.
I was imagining him like showing up to his lawyer's office, who was like, I had no idea about any of this stuff. It's like, hey, here's this like weird, mysterious, cryptic wooden box. If you could please share this with my wife. In the event of my death. And the lawyer's just like, yeah, cool.
Sure.
Cool box. Yeah, no problem.
You got it, John.
Yeah.
Yeah, no problem, Mr. Kramer. Anything you say.
Yeah. It's like I think, okay, I shouldn't bring this up. Blank Check is doing David Fincher. I'm sorry. And there, so I was thinking about Seven again, right? Yeah. I didn't watch it again, but I was just thinking about it, and thinking about how complicated, like as a former delivery agent, how difficult it is to like organize a same day package arrival, so he gets to like murder Gwyneth Paltrow, the whole thing, right? And yeah, just like the peppy delivery guy, like, no problem, Mr. Seven, whatever his name is. Yeah,
John Doe.
John Doe, right? Yeah, Kevin Spacey, John Doe. Yeah. He goes by many aliases. Yeah, Frank from the House of Cards.
Yeah,
K-Pax.
K-Pax. Yeah,
great movie. Let's
We
fucking find a
should
sequel to do K-Pax.
We
You hear
should-
the eagerness in my voice to
Yeah.
say K-Pax?
Let's-
Does that come across?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Well, see how excited we are that anyone said K-Pax. Okay.
Great movie. Great motion picture. One of the best films of all time.
They're saying my friend K-Pax is an alien.
I've got to catch the light, Jerry.
Yeah.
I don't remember what it looked
He's a good man.
Jerry.
Yeah. He's not an alien. He's an American. Okay, wait. Oh, yeah, okay. What? Wait. Okay, Seven,
Dude, you
whatever.
fried his
Kevin
brain.
Spacey, K-Pax.
Yeah.
The K-Pax, something we've talked about on the show before, is like these movies from basically from like 2000, even 99 maybe, but like 2000 to like 2003, where like DVDs were out, Blockbuster was booming, and like for my family, we didn't go to the theater a lot, but we would rent like a movie and have like a family movie night. And a lot of the time,
It was K-Pax.
before I took over.
Most weeks it was K-Pax.
Yeah, they said you could just buy this DVD. You don't have to come rent it.
We have used
every
copies
Monday.
for $8.99.
Yeah, K-Pax is not a hot property. You just stop renting it. But before I became like, I'm the cinephile who decides what movie we watch, it was like you just go to the Blockbuster and pick whatever.
Yeah.
And a lot of times it would be like, oh, okay, K-Pax, like Jeff Bridges, Kevin Spacey, hot off the Oscar. Like this could be something, right? Yeah, and I remember I had a math tutor at the time because I was bad at math, and I still am. And I remember, we'd have like 5 minutes at the beginning, just like, how was your week? What did you do? And I was like talking to her about K-Pax. And she's like, oh, I saw K-Pax too. I was like, what did you think? What do you think about the ending? Because it's like kind of ambiguous. Like,
Oh, yeah,
is
right,
he an
'cause
alien
it's
or not?
just- yeah.
And she talked about it in like very like literal terms. Like, I don't remember which side she came down on. The point of it is that it's an ambiguous ending. And I think I understood that at the time, but she was like, no, he's not an alien. It's like, oh, okay, I guess the world of mathematics, there's no ambiguity.
Yeah.
2 + 2 is 4, and that's that.
That's like something Will would say. Just dash your dreams.
No,
Just be like,
but Will understands the physics, the malleability of physics.
math is magic.
Yeah,
Schrodinger's
exactly.
cat.
Exactly.
K-Pax
exactly.
is
Yeah.
alien.
K-Pax's DVD.
Yeah.
It's both watched and unwatched.
I used to work at Blockbuster Video.
No way. Okay. All right. This is the Blockbuster Video Report.
Yeah.
I've never seen 10,000 tapes in one store.
There's so much kid stuff.
And I can keep him for 3 evenings.
Now this is a video store.
What would you like to know?
What was it like working at when?
It was. I was.
What years? What years?
Yeah, it was 2007 to 2009. So I was in high school when I started. Out when I finished.
Yep.
I don't know. It was mostly just people yelling at you, like mostly just people mad at you because they like owed fees or something, or it would say on file that they hadn't returned something and they said that they did.
Right.
That's mostly how I remember it. And then having to whatever retail upselling garbage, but occasionally you got someone like I remember huge There Will Be Blood came out on DVD while I worked at Blockbuster, and I loved telling people to rent it. And
Nice.
but also equally as much, I kind of loved it when people would come out. They're like, "I fucking hated this."
Yeah.
I'd be like, "I love it." But
You Philistine.
exactly. But talking about my relationship to Saw, because those the movie would come out on Halloween, but then I think a month before they would come out on DVD. So for those and I started in September 2007 and finished October 2009. So this whole era of Saw, that's it would be a thing every year because we would be able to get the DVDs for free before they went out. They would be just in the back room, and you could, as long as you got them back before they had to go out on the floor. And every year I'd watch the new Saw movie.
Nice.
Including this one, which I have very little memory of because it's very unmemorable. It's a very, as far as Saw movies go, pretty it's pretty boring.
Yeah.
It was boring.
It was like unbelievable how boring it was.
Yeah.
And it was not that long. It's like an hour and a half.
Yeah.
And I was watching and I was like, how much longer is in this? Like, it just moves.
Yeah. Well, all of these are more fresh in your mind. But I feel like the other Saw movies always had a pretty good job of balancing. Like, sure, you want a little bit of the soap opera-y, like, procedural stuff. But you also want traps.
Sure, yeah.
You want to see people in traps.
The traps,
not many traps in this one.
They feel like an afterthought.
Yes,
and I think I saw a quote on the Wikipedia page from dumbass David Hackle, who was saying, "Oh, okay, I didn't want to, I wanted to focus on the characters and have the characters first and the traps second, or else it's just another gory horror movie." Yeah. And it's like I appreciate that. Maybe in 2008 you could think that about Saw 5 and think that you could make an interesting Saw 5
character study.
But if that's what you were going for, like, no, like, put them in the traps. The Pit and the Pendulum trap is funny,
and it's
classic.
He fails on both counts, really, like, because and you do, like, you're meant to spend more time with the people in the trap as well, who are, like, kind of unrelated to what's going on everywhere. It's kind of like Strahm's quest to expose Hoffman, and then you have these, like, 5 people or something in a trap, and then at the end, like, Strahm goes to where they've been trapped or whatever, where they've been dealing with this, but there's no real reason for it to all, like, line up that way or for him to get there.
Or was he there, or he went to a different place?
He went to a different place?
I thought so, because then the other guy, like the FBI guy
you're right.
Who's in the Bluetooth.
I literally forgot.
Yeah, that guy was funny. Erickson.
I forgot about that character. Yeah. I've already forgotten about Erickson.
Because then Hoffman
frames Strahm. You're right. My bad.
And it's perfect because they look the same. So no one. They both suffer from Strahm-Hoffman syndrome.
Yeah.
Which is a general kind
Makes
of
you meaty.
meat face.
They look
guy.
like boxers from the 1930s.
Yeah. Put them up. See.
Yeah.
And then Strahm does have, like, I like that final moment between him and Hoffman where
that's the best part of the movie.
Yeah.
That is. Yeah. I mean, it's both, like, fucked up to look at.
Yeah.
And that part's great, but
that part is really funny.
Yeah.
We're talking about the very end.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah. The walls.
Yeah. Because okay, we'll get to that. We'll get to that in a minute.
Are we gonna cover something?
Oh no. Well, let's just talk about it then.
Yeah, we could just talk.
Talk about it. Who cares? I will go to the other traps after that. He tricks him into. He makes it seem like, oh, Strahm, get in the box, right? And then Strahm throws Hoffman in the box.
Yeah.
And then the box ends up. This like kind of glowing like
it's got glass in it.
Coffin or whatever. It ends up lowering into the ground, but beneath the floor, and then the walls close in to squish Strahm.
Yeah, and Hoffman is watching from this box, like on the floor.
Yeah, he's got that shit-eating grin on his face.
While Strahm is pressed to death, like to quote the Crucible, which you mentioned last episode, like Giles Corey.
Yes.
He is pressed to death between the two walls.
That's exactly what happened to Giles Corey. Yeah. And instead of the famous quote, more weight, which he didn't actually say, he said more walls, because he was being squished between two walls.
Yeah.
If you could add a third or fourth wall.
And, like, his blood splatter is just splattering on Hoffman in this glass box.
Yeah, and he's got the little dumb smile. It's funny. That part is funny.
It's really good. And, it feels like, throughout cinema, of course, there's been many walls closing in.
Yeah, Star Wars.
Star Wars being the famous one. And you're always like, what would that... What would that look like?
Yeah, let's see it.
And Saw delivers, and you got to respect it for that.
Yeah, and I particularly liked like the only real detail of it is he's climbing up and holding onto the grating at the top, and he has his arm kind of like pressed in between, and you see his wrist like snap like in the bone
out of his forearm.
Yeah, and that's the kind of one gruesome detail you see, and the rest is he just kind of just gets
and then just Hoffman's box getting coated in blood.
Yeah, he's like this worked perfectly.
Yeah, I am Jigsaw.
I'm Jigsaw. Yeah.
And I mean. The crazy thing, and I guess this said something about Strahn's character, and we do, established this is a story about character.
This is it's a character piece. Yeah.
The tape basically just tells him that he has
Get
to
in the box
get in
and
the
you'll
box.
live.
Yeah.
And he doesn't.
Yeah.
And he pushes Hoffman in the box.
I know, and it's like, you gotta listen to Jigsaw. Jigsaw's laying it all out for you.
And then the tape keeps playing. Like the tape, like he left enough pause on the tape so that they could have their scuffle. Hoffman could go in the box, and then he was like, "I told you to get in the box."
Yeah, it's perfect.
It's really funny.
He's the puppet master.
Puppets.
He is in a way the creator, the divine being who who manufactures our universe and knows all of our moves 10 pieces before us.
He's Yahweh.
Yeah, he is. And he should be praised as such.
Yeah. It's really funny.
It's funny. There are a couple lines earlier that I thought were funny. Like after...
should we talk about the 5 dumb people? Like the actual trap people?
In just a sec. There was the one... Oh, God. It was
Justice was served.
There were 2. There were 2. So after... there's a press conference where Hoffman is promoted because he's the hero, right?
Quick aside.
Yeah.
Like $5, the budget for that press conference.
Yeah.
It was like, it looked...
Cheap.
So it looked like sub-student film. So bad.
Really
and then they had photos of all the deceased.
Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, they're like, "Oh, see, Danny Glover's in this movie."
Remember when like there were good, compelling actors?
Yeah.
And it would have been funny, like an alternate cut where you see the photo of the police officers, and they're all like in their uniforms and decorated, but then it like cuts to how they died. So you have like Eric Matthews, and then it just cuts to Donnie Wahlberg getting his head smushed, or like
there's a still photo of his head being crushed.
Or the guy from the first one who trips the shotgun. Getting his head imploded.
The police officer opens it by saying, or giving a speech, and he says, "And I'd like to be the first to say that the Jigsaw murders are over." And there's a very polite kind of like golf clap after.
Yeah.
And then Hoffman gets up to give his speech. And his speech is very heavily like, "Oh, this guy is Jigsaw now." He's like, "Life is precious." Like he's all but doing the voice, right? Where he's like, "Justice will be served."
That's so true.
So yeah, it turns out Hoffman has been helping Jigsaw since Saw 1.
Yeah.
Which I thought was funny.
Yeah, you get that moment like in 4 or 3 was it where you see Amanda and Jigsaw kind of putting traps together. This time you see Hoffman and Jigsaw putting Saw 2 together.
Yeah,
Saw 2 together, and one of the Saw 1 ones of the guy who goes through
the big guy, the razor wire trap. That's right.
Yeah.
It's funny. Yeah, like we were saying, the big gambit is like, well, now we're going to show you them production designing the first movies.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're like you're watching the movie, you're like, surely one like old cancer-ridden man couldn't put this together. And it's like, well, it turns out it wasn't. It was 2 men. So these 5 boring people, what's their story?
I don't know.
Super unclear by the end of it, actually. Like,
they were all part of like an insurance scam or something, or
kind
a real
of.
estate development scam.
Yeah, like a fire that killed like 8 people or something. And was covered up and was
because they wanted to build an arena or something.
I don't know. Like,
I mean, stuff like that happens, right?
Oh my god.
Sure, and they should be punished for it in a way, in a sort of Machiavellian. Jigsaw style trap way.
But their whole thing is like they wake up and they're all kind of tied to the like this wall, and there's like razor sharp edges that if one goes forward, the other ones will be pulled back or something.
The mechanism of which is very unclear to me. Who's pulling on who? Like, it doesn't make any sense.
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't.
And not to get too ahead of ourselves, but their whole thing is like they needed to work together from the very start. But their evil human nature makes them fight and bicker and allow each other to be killed.
Yeah.
But like all the traps were so easily like solvable with multiple people. Like it's and the worst. So okay, in this one guy like runs for the key and he gives it to a bunch of people to unlock themselves, but one lady doesn't get it in time, so she gets her head cut off.
Well, the problem is they all think that they have to get they're individual keys.
Yeah.
He doesn't give it around.
Which,
he doesn't give it.
to me, that's a fair assumption.
That
Sure.
makes sense, but had they thought about it the way Jigsaw wanted them to think about
using
it,
the power of teamwork,
and keeping a cool head, they could have realized one person get the key and the rest of us pass the key around, and there you go.
Yeah, and that's while working together and stuff, and then they find out later they're like, oh, we're so stupid.
Yeah.
But then the second one is just they're literally in a room with a bunch of holes in the walls.
Yeah, that are big enough for
multiple
honestly,
people.
Most of them, like one individual hole could be 4 of them.
And they're literally just playing like, musical chairs. Like, oh, there's only like 3 holes, but there's 5 of you. Who's going to be the odd man out or whatever? And it's like that you could clearly have fit multiple people in those holes.
There's
and
no
then just
need
bombs
to kill
go
each
off.
other. Yeah.
And then there's just a bomb goes off, a nail bomb.
Yeah. Like
it was so stupid.
It is. I feel like the saw traps got so complicated over time, like compared to like the original, which was just like, you have a fucking you're tied to but for it to just be a bomb, like that, get a key and get into this thing,
from the bomb.
Hide from a bomb, like that's not a very fun sort of.
Your whole life you've been hiding from bombs. Now you'll have to hide from a bomb.
From this actual.
You've
bomb.
spent your whole life not being exploded by a bomb.
And it really is, and then they're just like fighting for no reason, like they're just like beating the shit out of the like trust fund. Drug addicted.
Yeah,
kid,
and again, it's the same classic thing. It's like drug addict. Like I don't know what's the other guy or like
know-it-all journalist.
Yeah, know-it-all journalist. Yeah,
and then just 2 different flavors of like
corporate.
uppity professional woman.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And then in the next trap, they just had to complete a circuit by like holding hands, and they each would have had received a little shock.
Yes.
Yeah.
But instead, they straight up kill one of the corporate women.
They just go for it and put her in a bathroom.
Yeah.
It's so
and
funny.
And then of course the final trap where they finally realize, it would have been easier if there were 5 of us. Is the pint of blood trap where there's like saws and boxes where you have to cut yourself to bleed out to fill this. 10 pints of blood or whatever.
And 5 people could have done it obviously way easier than it ends up just being the junkie guy and one of the corporate.
And what is probably Julie Benz, who we will get to.
Yeah.
That's probably one of the better practical effects is when he holds up his hand and it's sawed all the way through down to his wrist. Right?
That was honestly the only before watching it, I knew that it was this trap, and I remember the hand thing, and I remember him lifting his hand up and it coming apart. It's like the one memorable image from this film.
Yeah.
And Buddy getting crushed at the end.
Yeah, pretty funny. Yeah.
But I remember that at the time being like, oh yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
That part was like I squirmed, I was like, ooh.
Yeah, it's gross.
Yeah.
But even the task leading up to it, like them having to put their hand in, I don't know, like that's just because then it just becomes them going like their hand is they're going
they're just standing there,
not visually interesting at all.
No, they're standing there like with their hands.
Yes.
You can't really see what's going on.
And grown adults actors being like trying to get into the headspace of what it'd be like to like saw your arm in half or whatever. It's
for the most part, the dialogue throughout this movie is very bad. Actually, bad. All of it.
Yeah.
It's very bad dialogue.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't care about these people at all. But then, the actual effect, and when you see them start like cutting like the webs of their fingers open, it was very icky.
That's icky. Oh, yeah. But I don't know. It's just traps in this movie terrible.
Yeah, not good. It seems like an afterthought.
I didn't want to come out contentious. I didn't even like the first one that much.
The first
trap of the movie, like the pendulum one, like it's better than any of the ones with the group, but compared to like other opening saw traps, I think pretty weak.
I just like it because I'm a literary guy.
Me too. I was gonna say because when I liked it because when I saw it, I was like, yes, The Pit and the Pendulum, a book a story I've not read but I'm familiar with. Of course, there's a Roger Corman in his Corman and Poe. Films there he did a Pit and the Pendulum.
I gotta watch that.
Yeah, we should. Halloween.
I saw a theatrical production of the Pit and the Pendulum in London.
Oh wow!
It was the opening night of that show. The crowd was not even half full, and my friend who was next to me watching it in the front. We were like in the front row. she fell asleep.
Nice.
And was added in a place where the actors absolutely could have seen her just fully asleep in the front row, opening night of the play. Anyways.
Well, both the story and the play, and surely the Roger Corman movie would have been more interesting had they cut the guy in half instead of just scraping his tummy.
Yes.
Yeah. And if he had...
That trap, it's pretty messed up. Like, it really does cut him up, you know?
Yeah. And he on top of that, he has to crush his hands.
He crushed his hands.
first,
Yeah,
which is foreshadowing what happens to Strahm.
That's right. That's right.
Sure,
when he crushes his hands and he pulls them out and he's like, "It's done." He's looking at me like, "Oh, come on, I did it. I gotta crush my hands.
I fucked up my hands.
I crushed my hands. I crushed my hands." I don't know, but he was a murderer. Like he killed Hoffman's. Yeah. Okay. I completely forgot. As soon as I saw the very first shot of the guy on the table, the first thing I looked at was like, and no offense to our tattooed listeners, but the first thing I look at when I see your shirtless tattooed body is I scan the tattoos and make sure none of them are racist. You can't be too sure about these people. So I got a tattoo, right? See,
ooh, that's actually
this. We had to take it out.
Yes.
That's an alt-right symbol.
No, it's not. It's a frowny face. It's a frowny face. It's a stick and poke that I got in Kingston, Penn.
Oh my God, is that the OK symbol you have?
No. Okay, so you see this guy, and he's got like 2 SS tattoos on his where his love handles would be, where he fat, and then he has he's got like one of those other Nazi symbols, like the Iron Cross sort of thing.
No.
It's not a swastika,
but
it looks like the Iron Cross thing. But they never bring it up. They never bring up that I thought, he's a murderer, or he did a hate crime, or he's like some sort of Nazi.
He was
guy.
Hoffman's sister's boyfriend.
Killed Hoffman's beautiful sister.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hoffman's beautiful
but
sister.
Hoffman's beautiful sister dated
She was
a
the
Nazi.
only family I had.
Well, I wonder, and this is where my brain went.
Oh.
Aryan Brotherhood in jail.
Oh.
I don't know. Maybe.
It's hard. I mean,
Well, what's Hoffman's sister doing dating a member of the Aryan Brotherhood?
But like he joined after
once in the Brotherhood, always in the Brotherhood, right, Ben?
If you are now, you always were.
Yeah, no, you're right. Yes, and Hoffman, of course, did have some type of sort of psychosexual relationship with his sister, as is established purely not by any line of dialogue, purely by the acting style of Costas Mandylor.
Yeah. True. Yeah, he can't imagine a relationship with a woman that isn't tinged with
He simply had too much sex in his life as one of the people's hottest
1991.
men. 1991.
1991 to 2008, he did not stop. Fucking the most beautiful people on the planet.
Probably.
Yeah.
Like, that's got to be an interesting life there.
Mm-hmm.
Costas Mandylor.
Yeah.
Though we're doing specifically that period,
Yeah.
1991, him starring in Saw 5.
We're all praying to be, for reincarnation to exist, and 2, to come back as Costas Mandylor in 1991 to 2008.
Yeah.
Please, God, please.
Or his sister.
Yeah, or his beautiful sister. Yeah, either way. Yeah, so Julie Benz.
Yeah.
It's one of probably the most famous actor in the movie, basically.
Probably,
right?
yeah.
But this is before she was on Dexter, is it? Or is it right
no,
at the same? No, it's at the same time.
I thought I recognned her name.
Yeah.
I actually kind of feel like this was like Julie Benz had a real big few years, and I actually do kind of think this was on the downturn, because I think when I think of Julie Benz in this period, of course I think of those couple seasons of Dexter that she was in, Saw 5, and Rambo 4.
Oh yeah,
which she's great in.
Is she his daughter? No, or she?
I don't. No. She plays the head of the NGO.
Yes.
That's coming to whatever that.
Yes, this is the same. This is the same year as Saw 5. 2008. 2008.
That Rambo movie.
And she was in
very
Punisher Warzone at the same
And
year.
she's in Punisher Warzone.
That Rambo movie is insane.
That Rambo movie is insane.
I'm glad you brought that up. I just found the Blu-ray at Valley Village.
Yeah. I remember
it's one of the most violent movies ever made.
I remember not having a huge relationship with Rambo when that movie came out. Like I've definitely only seen First Blood, maybe Rambo 2, but wasn't one of those people who loved Rambo. I think also because I always wanted them to be more violent.
Yeah.
And then I remember the trailer for that Rambo movie came out. I was like, oh, this looks great. and me and my friends went to the theater and we were hooting and hollering.
Oh, I saw it in the theater.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Wow.
Shout outs to Mount Pearl Cineplex, no longer with us.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, beautiful theater. But yeah, it was that, and Julie Benz is great in it, and I have a real fondness for Julie Benz.
Okay.
So it was really hard to see her go through this.
Well, yeah. Let me tell you I do remember her in that Rambo movie now that you mention it. Yeah.
Also, probably a very racist movie. I don't know else I've seen it, but like probably a deeply racist movie.
I think more, probably less so than the new Rambo is like south of the border Rambo, where it's like
I didn't see that one.
Build a wall. In Rambo 4, the line is Burma's a war zone. Yeah, that's not really how he sounds, but how does Sly Stallone sound? I don't know. Burma's a war zone. I don't remember how he sounds. Burma is a war zone in that movie.
Yes.
The end of that movie, he killed. Okay, so it's like Rambo 1, right? It's not a violent movie.
No.
It's a much more like psychologically focused movie.
And like kind of thoughtful.
Thoughtful.
Yeah.
He kills 1 or 2 people in it. Rambo 2, he kills it, so jumps up to like 50. Rambo 3, it's like 200 people.
Yeah,
it's not quite. Yes, exactly. Yeah.
You know that's not real.
It's not real. I know. That is. If we're talking about one of my least favorite effects, the Mandela effect, I did genuinely believe that Rambo 3 was dedicated to the Mujahideen fighters, but it's not. It's just, but it might as well have been.
Might as well have been.
Rambo 4, I think genuinely he kills like a quarter of the population of Burma.
Probably.
He kills. It's got to be like 300 people.
Yeah.
It's like a bloodbath. Like it's a disgusting movie.
I don't think I have.
We're gonna do the Rambo movies.
Yeah, yeah.
Of course.
Rambo 4 is something else.
One other thing about Julie Benz, I'll say this is her run. Okay. Punisher, Warzone, Rambo, Saw 5 in 2008, 2009, The Boondock Saints 2, All Saints Day.
Yeah.
Sick.
After that, not as much.
That's what I mean. Like she had a few years where it was like Julie Benz was all the rage. She was one of Hollywood's hottest actresses by virtue of being in Rambo 4 and Saw 5.
And Dexter. Dexter was popping
Dexter was big.
Dexter was big. She's also, of course, she played Angel's ex in Buffy.
Yes, and in Angel.
And later
she's
in
back in Angel. Yeah.
But I quite like Julie Benz. I've always had a soft spot for her. I think she's like for like a B movie actress, like always pretty good.
She survives this movie as far as I know.
Well, that's the thing sometimes with Saw movies is that you
never really know.
You never really get a sense of actually who survived. I guess like sometimes they'll show in the next one,
oh, she's alive, but she's in another trap.
Yeah. Well, I've got a quote from her about the making of the film on the Wikipedia page. It spells her name correctly, except the very first time it says Bentz. So sorry, Julie. I have to read it as it is here.
It's true.
Bentz described her as a, quote, very unlikable character. On her experience filming, she said, filming the movie freaked me out. I had nightmares. I'd never been in a psychological horror movie. It actually affected me on a deep level.
Oh, no.
I don't know if I can actually see this movie.
Wow.
However, Benz, spelled correctly, praised Hackle's directing techniques, such as using a full storyboard on set, which helped the actors know the correct camera angles at any given time. It's David Hackle's people or David Hackle himself being like, well, someone's got to see something positive with me. I used the storyboard like you're supposed to, right?
Working with David, like one thing is that you always know where you're supposed to stand.
Yeah.
You always know where you're standing.
This is unlike any film set I've ever used where they actually would give me they would tape a mark on the floor where I had to be. Yeah. And he's very professional. You always know when the camera's running. He'll tell you. He'll say cut, he'll say action.
A consummate professional.
Yeah. Clint Eastwood doesn't work like that.
No.
Yeah.
You never know where you're supposed to be.
Devin.
Yeah.
I've heard you have a spicy hot take that you like Saw 2.
Oh yeah, I'm surprised to hear you guys don't. Like, I feel like Saw 2. So I would like Saw for me. I'd watch them every year when I worked at Blockbuster, but also I was definitely like in a time of my life where I liked kind of more extreme, gory kind of stuff. I actually really have very little stomach for it now. But
it doesn't get much more extreme than Saw.
No, I mean,
the unrated version of Saw 3, I still think is the most extreme it's ever been,
true.
right?
Yeah.
But I don't know
why we like it.
But so I like the first Saw movie to come out. I was like vaguely aware of it. I don't think I'd seen it. But then Saw 2 was like, its reputation was that it was like so much more intense. There's of course the syringe pit, and
we love that. We love the syringe pit.
We all love the syringe pit.
We did love that.
Yeah. And so I don't know. I just feel like it really sort of like solidified like what people actually like about Saw movies. Like you can be like, oh, the first one's the best because it's like more psychological and all that stuff. But like, if you want to start talking traps. You want to start talking about real, honest-to-God traps. Saw 2 is where all that shit starts, Like, guy getting into the furnace, syringe pit. There's some, like, stupid stuff. But I like Amanda as a character. Like, I think that, like, again, I mentioned it earlier, but I think it's so stupid they killed her off in the series as early as they did because she's, like, actually interesting. I don't know. But it's also been a while since... I think, by the way, also, they're all awful. Like, none of them are, like, good movies, just to be clear. But comparing them to one another.
I get that, but I think that experience is what we had with Saw 3, where we felt the traps, like, they clicked a bit more for us in that one because they were humorously over-engineered.
Yes.
I think, Saw 2 still has a little bit of, like, tethered to reality.
Run and gun, like he just had to dig a pit with needles, he didn't make a scalping chair. Or
No.
Or the pig machine.
The pig machine is so funny.
Saw 3 is pretty good. I suspect that, again, I have only seen them up to 6. So I haven't seen Saw 3D, and I haven't seen any of the other ones since.
I don't think I'd seen this one. None of it.
This has to be. I feel like this has to be the worst one.
It's pretty bad.
Yeah.
I Saw 4 stunk too. I don't know.
But Saw 4 at least has more traps, right?
I think Saw 4
has
is
like
probably
4
better
traps.
than this. Yeah.
Yeah, and you do get to see Donnie Wahlberg get his head smushed.
That's really funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh yeah, and Saw 4 had the really the goofy transitions too, like smash that lady through.
Yeah, less of that in this one.
There's also just like there's no real like mystery in this one either. Like you kind of know what's going on all the time.
Yeah.
Like there's like a couple little fake outs early on, like you were saying, like or like the reveal of Hoffman being involved all this time, but like. There's not even any kind of like soap opera-y twisty and turny. It's just like Hoffman's here, other cops over there. They're kind of on each other's tail, sort of. There's this kind of, and then there's this like horrible trap sequence happening, totally separate from everything. That's like not even fun. It was like very bad. I thought
you're right. Like and like you mentioned, Ben, like some of this temporal stuff doesn't add up to anything.
Not in this one. No.
The big real Zepp's whatever twist is just that Hoffman gone in the box, which is we established is like silly. And then the people in the traps are like, oh, we should have worked together from the beginning.
Yeah, duh. Yeah, no shit. I don't know.
But like Saw 2, like like the reveal that Amanda's been working with Jigsaw, it's legitimately like it's a big surprise.
Yeah.
Like, I did not see that coming.
I will say as well in looking at Letterboxd, not only is Saw 2 the highest rated of the sequels, which I think might just be that like more people have seen it, and also that it's like I think people tend to have this kind of like. Oh well, things get worse as they go on, So it's like But the other thing too is in a lot of Saw rankings that I see on Twitter or like publications, I don't remember which movie. It was like one of the bigger movie websites. Like I don't know which one it was. I read their Saw rankings just because I was curious. Yeah. And I read a few of them, like Variety, whatever else. One of them though. It was so obviously AI written. It like freaked me out because it was new. It was like in anticipation for Saw 10. It had the same phrase in it every single time, where it would be like, when Saw blank, right? When looking at ranking of the Saw, and it was the headline of the, like when considering ranking Saw series from 1 to 10.
That's funny.
Yeah, it was terrible. It just makes me sad, but it used to be someone's job to write those listicle articles that nobody reads.
Did the AI like Saw 2?
A lot of the AIs and people seem to rank Saw 2 pretty highly. Yeah, some people think it's like the second best or first.
Well, listen,
favorite,
we're only human. We have our opinions, but they're right. They are correct.
It's still my opinion, and it is right. And if you want to fight me about it, good luck.
Email the pod.
You know where to email us.
We will set up.
Yeah.
We will set up a Rumble.
If you want to be the next victim of Toronto's Jigsaw, Ben and Alex, the franchisees. Yeah. Currently, we have my boss in one of my former bosses in one of the warehouse traps. Yeah. Who else do we have? Oh, we had the people who run my condo building. It's not a condo. The people who run the apartment building, who can't keep the power running. And there was somebody else I wanted to add. Oh yeah, the TTC for not running an extra bus service on the 52 East. Okay, on the 52 East, it comes from the airport at. I had some earlier shifts where I got off at 11 o'clock at night. That is when everybody who works at the airport and the surrounding businesses around the airport, that's when everybody gets off, like to trade over for the night shift. I had to wait an hour for the bus, and a whole bus full of people came by, and then a whole other bus load of people came by, and then finally a whole other load of bus people came by, and there was enough room to squeeze in. It was... last night, I swear to God, the most people I've ever seen in a TTC bus. It was its own saw trap. Yeah. People were pressed up against the windshield, like smushed up. Oh I was like this, just like, it was awful. It was so awful. So just like, I don't know, run another bus, or we'll put you in the trap.
Yeah. Which is also a bus.
Which is a bus. Yeah. It's a bus being filled with rats.
No, it's a bus that can't slow down past a certain speed, or else it'll explode.
Yeah, and you can't lower the speed.
I think it was called
the bus that can't slow down. Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, no, it's okay.
Yeah.
Should we rate this puppy?
Yeah. What do you think? Oh, wait. Very, very quickly. Which of the traps? I'll go through them. Which of the traps do you think you would have the best chance at surviving?
Well, are we all doing them together? Okay. Bomb. Nail bomb hole.
Nail bomb hole.
Nail bomb hole.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Obviously, the pendulum not survivable. The box in the head filling with water, probably not survivable.
I don't think I'd be able to give myself a tracheotomy.
The decapitation trap, the explosive room, the electrical circuit room, the pints of blood trap, or a Strahm-Hoffman in the box. I think I maybe would get in the box.
However, to watch Strahm get squished?
I'm just like, if I'm...
Well, if you're Strahm, I don't know.
Just listen to Jigsaw. It's like, really, no one ever listens to Jigsaw.
I know.
And that's really sad, I think.
Well, Hoffman must have had some way out if Strahm had got in the box. Yeah. Like if he had predicted incorrectly.
Yeah.
There must have been some sort of kill switch to the rooms, right? Yeah. I don't know. Anyway, obviously explosive tunnel. Yeah.
Have you guys watched the YouTube videos that are like how to get out of every Saw trap?
No.
Every single movie has one.
Great.
As there's like a series that does them, and I have watched them.
Okay. Maybe we should do that.
You're definitely gonna do that. Yeah.
Just in case it ever happens.
Yeah. Here's how to solve every Saw trap in Saw 5.
This one's an easy one. How many pints of blood out of 10 would you donate to this movie to escape it?
I'd let the fucking pipe bomb blow me up. I wouldn't be putting my arm in that thing.
Out of 10, I don't know, 2 or 3 probably.
Yeah. Most I'd give it would be 3 pints of blood.
Yeah. It has like 2. Yeah, same. I would maybe even go as low as 1. I think this is really bad.
Yeah, it was. It
bad. Looked like shit.
Yeah.
I mean, they all do, but this one especially, just like it looked really bad.
Yeah. It's David Hackle's fault.
Yeah, acting was terrible.
Writing was bad.
And it didn't even have it had 2 cool trap moments. Yeah. Pendulum's all right.
Yeah.
But that's
it's just funny because it just cuts his tummy a little bit,
yeah,
and then it keeps going, and then by the end it's just swatting his innards around.
Yeah, that's pretty good. I'll give you that.
Yeah. Flying all over the place.
Yeah,
I thought it was a piece of shit.
Yeah. Not great. Let me see where I'm putting it in the rankings here. I got my list somewhere. I mean, it's hard to say. These are all kind of samey, like 3, 4. I think it's below 4 for me, but still maybe above 2. I don't know. I just have an irrational hatred of 2. You
That's
know?
crazy to me. Oh my god, I need to go back and listen to what you guys thought about too. Because
I mean, you
good.
should. You have to go back and listen to every episode
should.
ever.
I'm
Now
sorry,
that you're a
I'm
guest,
sorry.
you should just go right from Paranormal Activity. some of the early rougher episodes where we're like,
There was
I'm an idiot.
There was a certain charm to them.
No, I haven't listened to them. They're probably fine.
They were lo-fi.
They are. Yeah, it's our early before we were signed to our label. Spotify. we took the we took the Joe Rogan deal, and now we're we're anti Neil Young, pro Joe Rogan, Spotify paid guys. Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
I wish.
Oh, me too, man.
I'd sell out.
You turn on Neil Young?
No, I probably would. I like Neil Young a lot, and because he's not on that app, I have all his CDs and rips of them, and I can listen to them whenever I want.
Nice.
great.
Nice.
Yeah, Neil Young fans, listen to his 1994 or 5 album, "Sleeps with Angels." That's a really good one. Feel like people don't talk about that as much. It's really, really good. Listen to that one.
And listen to us, subscribe, all that stuff. Give us a rating. Thank you for the people who have and who've written your reviews. They're very funny. And
They are
cute.
very funny. Yeah.
And now you can also follow us
this
on
is
X.
a huge announcement.
On X.com.
Yeah. So now that X, formerly known as Twitter, is about to die, as it has been for months, people are saying, "Oh, Elon's going to make everybody pay for it," or this or that. It still hasn't happened, and the website is still up, and I still use it every day. So I don't know, but lots of people aren't on it. Maybe eventually we'll make a franchisee's Blue Sky account or Instagram. We will be making an Instagram as well. Maybe Threads. I don't know. Maybe a dating app or two. Just
That'd be
you never
cool.
know, right?
Yeah. Have a partner of the pod.
Yeah, sure. Our pod, of course, practices ethical non-monogamy.
Yes. Consensual non-monogamy.
Naturally, of
Prefer
course.
the term.
Yeah. So you can go to X, formerly Twitter, and you can please follow and enjoy the Twitter, the X, the tweets of our show, The Franchisees, at The Franchisees. It's just the name of the show.
Amazing.
I was
We
able to
snagged
get it.
that?
Yeah,
Wow,
well, because
incredible.
nobody else has that name.
It's a dumb name.
It's a dumb name. No, it's a good name. And it's at The Franchisees, FRANCHISEES.
It's just
I
that
have to learn
simple.
the phonetic alphabet for my job. Maybe I should try it. I don't remember what F is. Foxtrot, Romeo, Alpha, November. What's C? Charlie, Hotel, India, Sierra, Echo, Sierra. Boom!
Hey.
I'm learning it.
That was super
I
impressive.
always thought that was stupid. I was like, oh, these military guys think they have to talk in some dumb language. It's actually very hard to hear people on the phone, including myself. I mumble sometimes. It's important. I get why it's important. Follow The Franchisees at Twitter or X or whatever. And we'll follow you back. Follow for follow. We'll follow you back.
For that spicier content.
Yeah.
The content.
Currently, no tweets yet.
Oh.
But because I have to set it up, I have to keep getting the Google codes.
Right, yes.
But I am going to tweet soon, and then you'll see it. And then my personal account will retweet it. And then you can follow me. You can follow the Twitter account. You can follow both of us. We'll follow you back.
We taking over.
Yeah, exactly. You could send us naughty DMs, whatever you want.
Slide in.
Devin,
Yeah,
do you
the
have
water's
anything
warm.
to pitch? Not pitch. Plug.
Imagine.
Do you want to
AI saw? No.
Do you want to pitch a project?
No, I don't know. I'm not going to. My social media doesn't matter. Go to my website. I have a website.
Yeah.
Go to devinshears.com.
There you go.
Watch some of my garbage.
Yeah. Devin's films are on the website.
That's true.
There you go.
Sweet.
Yeah.
I'll check those out.
I would suggest watching Grown in Darkness, Devin's film from, was it like last year, I think? Or
Yeah, a couple years ago now.
Yeah. It's on the website.
It is available on CBC Gem.
Yep.
Through, I think it's called Real East Coast. Real spelled REEL.
Yep.
Like
One
real
of-
big fish.
Like
Exactly.
fishing.
One of
Yeah.
one of people love changing up REAL, REEL.
Yeah.
People love that. So
Yeah, it makes people go crazy.
yeah, it does.
So, you're talking about cinema, baby.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
We all
exactly.
love cinema.
We do love cinema. We love cinema so much we have a podcast about it.
Mm-hmm.
And next week on that podcast, we're doing part 6 of the 10-part anime series Saw, titled Saw 6. Devin will return.
Yeah.
And Katherine will return in the Saw 6 Devin versus Katherine special. Who is the greater Saw fan?
Definitely her.
Yes. yeah. But I guess it's not really much of a competition. You know what? Let's take the verses out.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
why be so adversarial?
It could just be a celebration of Saw 6.
Yeah. Saw 6 celebration featuring Devin and Katherine.
It's going to be a bloodbath.
It's going to be disgusting. Yeah. One of the guests will die.
Okay.
Or one of the hosts. No, let's keep it even. One out of the 4 of us. Oh, sorry. And Jesse will be there. Special guest, laugh track, off mic guest. No touching the microphone guest. Jesse. And one of the 5 of us will die.